I hope everyone can see the screen. I hope everyone can see the screen. You can tell me in the chat box. Okay, cool. So today we'll talk little about tablet excipients because in exam they may ask about specific tablet formulation like effervescent tablets or lozenges, uncoated tablets, coated tablets. Hence, you should be knowing, you should have an idea about different excipients available to prepare or to formulate the tablets. Okay, so the common types of tablet excipients are described in this. I'll be telling you again. With examples, I'll be telling you again. Because with the same example for any type of tablet is being asked in the exam, you can write the same, but emphasizing the main ingredient used in specific tablets. For example, let us say lozenges. If they ask question 2 marks question or 5 marks question or even 10 marks on lozenges, then you have to specify for what they are used and what is the main ingredient to make lozenges, as it is dissolved in the mouth itself or disintegrated in the mouth itself. You should always emphasize on the sweetening agents and on the binding agents. As you know, lozenges are very hard tablets because it consists of a lot of sweetening agent or sugar. So on that particular excipient you have to emphasize, but together this is the used to enhance the which is used to enhance the uh, volume of the tablet or bulkiness of the tablet. So if any type of tablet it can be, if you want to increase the volume of it, you can always add diluent to it. So most common fillers are lactose, sugar, sucrose, sorbitols, cellulose, MCC, that is microcrystalline cellulose, and dicalcium phosphate dihydrate. So these are the commonly used diluents. Next, requirement for good diluent. When do we say it is a good diluent? Yes, first of all, it should not absorb moisture from the environment. It should be pharmacologically stable, chemically inert, biocompatible, and also very important, it should be cheap. It should not be too costly because affordability becomes difficult. Okay, so good pharmaceutical properties. Uh, it should be water soluble and also hydrophilic because major of our body consists of water, and when it disintegrates it is still in the water medium, the drugs which is not acceptable. I don't know why even in my system it is getting disconnected now and then. Let us see. Disintegrants. Next excipient is disintegrants. I have already told you what is the meaning of disintegrants. Disintegration. Integration means together. This means to break or to separate. Okay, so opposite of integration. So to disintegrate is to break up. Here I've put the image also. This is the effervescent tablet. You can see with the bubbles how the tablets are. Tablets will break in the future. So it is a breakup into small fragments. Disintegration means breakup into small particles or fragments to help or to promote dissolution. Steps of disintegration process. So if we see how the disintegration will happen, you can see here. First, the tablet will enter into your stomach. You can see the drug here, and then the drug will slowly start to become particles into smaller pieces. To make it into pieces, first of all, the tablet should get wet. When water starts entering inside, slowly the tablet will become soft and also it will break. And now these aggregates, I had told you in the last class, when it breaks up or when it is in the particle state, the surface happens. Disintegration and dissolution are interconnected. If disintegration is faster, then resolution is also faster. So the method of disintegrant addition, when you can add the disintegrants. Okay, let us see. Let us recall what we studied in wet granulation. In wet granulation, you added excipients in the blend and you blended in the Vicon blender. Okay, then also you can add disintegrants, or at just before punching, you added lubricants and glidants, if you remember. I told you always we add lubricants or glidants at the end. Then also we can add disintegrants. So what we call them? Intragranular addition or extragranular addition. Intragranular addition means while blending before the granulation, we add disintegrants. Then it is intragranular. Inside the granules, disintegrants are present. If you add in the step of when we add glidants and lubricants, then it is called as extra granular addition, because granules are already prepared. Then you are going to add disintegrants before punching. Okay, so sometimes even industry people, both the times they will add to enhance the solubility. So which are the commonly used disintegrants? Starch, cellulose, high swelling agents. See, starch can also be a binder. It also can be a disintegrant. Okay, so one excipient can have more than one property. So these are the example. What should be the concentration if you are adding modified starch or cellulose? It should be the concentration of 1 to 2%. Next excipient is binder. I hope it is clear for you what is filler and what is disintegrants. Filler is also called as diluent, which will increase the volume. Disintegrant helps the tablet into break into smaller fragments. Binders is, it will help us to bring the tablet into a shape or form. It will give a mechanical strength to the tablet. Directly powders we can never punch. So when you add excipients such as binder, it will help us to bind the particles together and bring it into a particular shape. Seen in the Cognosy lab. Acacia, you might have seen in the Cognosy lab, even Tragakant, it is also sticky. Oh, man. Okay, it is also sticky. So these are the examples. Next, incorporation of the binders. I had told you in dry granulation, we always put dry binders. In wet granulation, we put wet binders, or we wet the binder and then we put it in the solution form. Here also, same thing, dry binder and solution binder. So solution binder means you dissolve or you disperse the binder into liquid and then you add it as a binding agent. While as dry powder or dry binder, before punching, we add this binder, make slugs and again break them into granules, again punch. Especially this is, okay. I'm sorry, my net is not so stable. Next is, yeah. So typical binder concentration, it is 2 to 10% concentration. Please try to remember the concentrations I tell you in the class. What is the concentration of binder? What is the concentration of disintegrants and also the binder? So 2 to 10%. Again, there are some binders which are soluble and some are which are not soluble. So proportionately you can add by using 2 to 3. Sometimes we can just disperse it, or you can just disperse it and use it as a binding solution. Next is lubricants. Lubrication. Why we do lubrication? To reduce the friction between the particles, or even in the equipments it is used, lubricants. Why? So that there is a smooth running of the machine or equipment. In the granules, why we use? So that the granules do not stop, or the friction should not happen between the particles. Friction can also lead to heat formation, which will again in turn affect the particles. So to avoid all this, we add lubricants. There are fluid lubricants and also boundary lubricants. Boundary lubricants also are good lubricants which will reduce the friction between the hopper and the particles. There are two things, friction between particles and friction between hopper and the particles. Okay. Yeah, next, disadvantages of the lubricants. This lubricants does not have any it is not used as an excipient for the tablet. It will not enhance anything in the formulation of the tablet. It is only for the friction reduction between the particles and between the hopper and the particles. So what can be its disadvantages? Lubricants tend to be hydrophobic. Many of the lubricants are oil, waxes. Okay, so they are hydrophobic. What happens if we add hydrophobic agent to the tablets? So it will slowly reduce the wetting property of the tablet. So that is the disadvantage. And not only that, it will also not allow the tablet to disintegrate faster. Okay, so whichever lubricants we choose, it should be sorry. Okay, my internet is not so stable. Lubricants again, under lubricated. If you use very less lubrication, then again the particles may stick. There is problem in flow of the property. If flow is not proper, weight of the tablet will also be not proper. Flow should be very optimum or easy flowing. Then only you can control the hardness and weight of the tablets. If you over lubricate it, then also again disintegration will be affected, hardness will be affected, dissolution, wetting agent, wetting property, all this will be affected, as many of the lubricants are hydrophobic. So examples of such lubricants: magnesium. Now glidant or flow aid improve flowability of the powder. Improve flowability of the powder. This is added during direct compression and granulation before tableting. Again, this is a kind of lubrication only, again to reduce the friction only. But for what we choose is important, whether it is to reduce the friction between particles or reduce the friction between particles and the hopper, which is a part of machine. Example: talc and colloidal silica. Anti-adherents. Again, this is one of the lubricant or friction reducing agent only. This is for, it should not stick to the dies of the punches, nor it should stick to the punches, area of the or the tip of the punches. It should not stick anywhere. You should get proper soft shiny tablets. Okay, so that is why nowhere it should stick, nor to the hopper, nor to the die and the punches. Now what are these? Sorbents are the substances that are capable of sorbing some quantities of fluids in a apparently dry state. Excuse me. Okay, so these sorbents will help us uh, to keep the tablets or the granules in the dry state. Hence, these are added during the stage of the granulation or during the stage of the compaction. Example, microcrystalline cellulose and silica. Now, flavors. We all know why we add flavors. Nowadays, even in cosmetics, flavors are available. In food, like processed food, flavors are kept. So to attract kids, to attract people, we put flavors. Here in pharmacy or in pharmaceuticals, we put flavors to avoid unwanted flavor, which it can come from the drug or from the excipient. So basically you make it more palatable, okay, or make it more pleasant. So that is why we add flavors. Many natural flavoring agent, you can give examples like rose are there, strawberry, muskmelon, uh, sorry, muskmelon, and mint. Many flavoring agents which are naturally available. Colors, again I told you, I had told you before also, whichever colors you use, it should be approved color only. It should be approved color only by Drug and Cosmetic Act and also by FDA. Okay, so again it is for identification and patient compliance. Sweetening agent, about all these organoleptic agent, I think everyone can write enough stuff because it is easy to understand. Give me a second. Hello. Okay, so about, okay, so what are the sweetening agents? Examples, examples of sweetening agents. Again, strawberry, sucrose, maltose, sucrose, maltose, saccharin, which is artificial sweetening agent. I had told you it is carcinogenic also. Aspartame is also a sweetening agent nowadays, which has replaced saccharin because saccharin has become carcinogenic. So it is slowly being removed out of the market. Hence, aspartame is also a sweetening agent which is replacing saccharin. So this was all about excipients. Now let me tell you, whenever in formulation, formulation means preparation or preparing the tablets. So what should it consist of? First of all, you start list out all the excipients I have told you. Okay, except this also have told you some anti-adsorbents also, some coating agents also, all that formulating agents you can list out. Then write the definition of those excipients. Then write the examples. Write advantages and disadvantages few. Okay, if in sub question they have asked specific formulation, then you can choose specific excipients according to the question asked. Just now I told you about effervescent tablets and for lozenges. If effervescent tablets, then what produces effervescence? Like tartaric acid, citric acid, examples you can write. And rest all will be same, binding agent, diluent, and write accordingly. Ayyo. Okay, so this is what is your formulation of the tablets. In the next class, we will study compression and we will move to the problems what we encounter during compression, like mottling, capping, sticking. So these are the problems when we compress. I will show you with the pictures what are the defects when we go for compression. Looks easy, machine is ready, granules are ready, so we can easily compress. Yes, it is true. But again, there are some problems you will definitely encounter when we are compressing the tablets. We see thousands and lakhs of tablets in the medical shop. If they have come at very clean, neat, and good looking, elegant tablets, and it takes lot of effort. Okay, we will see what are the problems we encounter during compression, and again we will see the types of tablet punching machine in the next class. You have any doubts, let me know. That's it for today.